I want to share what I wish someone had told me when I was beginning my campus life, and I had just finished high school and I was getting into the university. But first of all, let me talk about what I was told, and some of that was reminded to me when Justus was making his presentation. First of all, the Vice Chancellor spoke to us. I remember it was a big meeting and it was held at the graduation square. And the first thing he told us was the one difference you're going to find in university life from your high school life is the amount of freedom that you now have. Guys, this new season of your life is called adulthood, and it comes with a lot of freedom, but freedom comes with its consequences. So in my day, we were told you have the choice of whether or not to attend class, whether or not to turn in your assignments, whether or not to even attend your exams, but all of these decisions will come with consequences. I like what you were told earlier, that if you haven't attended most of your classes, then of course you're not going to be able to sit the exams if you have not attended at least 75% of your classes. So freedom, as you can see, comes with its consequences. Another thing that we were told when I was joining campus was that life at the university can be very, very lonely. I found that a puzzle because that was the biggest institution I had been in. I was coming from high school. We did not have that number of people in school. So here is someone telling us that you're going to find it lonely. Now, you want to make it very intentional, the people you're going to associate with. You want to be very intentional about the community that you join. What are the activities that you will get involved in? And we are going to go a little more into details of that, because those things are going to shape, they are going to color what becomes of your life at this time. This is a very, very lovely season of life to be in. I can assure you that you have more time now than you will ever have at the rest of your life. You have more choices now, because once you're tied up with a job, once you're tied up with family and with all these responsibilities in the society, you're not going to have as much freedom of your time. So you want to get involved in as many career shaping activities as are available. And I like that the director gave you an exposure on some of the things that you have. And people have already started to show leadership, even in this meeting. And I think that is very, very commendable. Some of these are the things that are going to shape your life and your future. Now, let's move on to what I was not told, what I wish I could have been told when I was starting. The greatest realization of my life has been this, that it is possible. Whatever it is for you, it is possible. You're standing on, as you were at the cliff, you are able to jump into the rest of your life. Now, what I want to talk to you is very brief and simple. I want you to see it. I want you to want it, to ask for it, and to get it. Those are just the simple steps which I'm going to be exposing you to today, and which will make everything open up in front of you, depending on what it is that you desire. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is see it. What is it that you want your life to be? What is it that you want your life to be? A lot of times we get our ambitions clouded, our ambition covered, contained, cocooned by what we have seen before, by what our parents have done, by what our siblings have done, by what we have seen in our village. That need not be the limit of what you want to achieve. Allow yourself to dream a big dream. You are beginning your college life today. You can become absolutely anybody. You can go absolutely anywhere. Whether you, I had a few categories of people mentioned here. There's people who are government sponsored. There's people who are self-sponsored. There's people who are on a diploma course. There's people who are on a degree program. There's people who, like me, are signing up for BCom. Others are signing for different programs. Guys, you can get anywhere starting where you are today. I want you to think about the world as a globe. If the world was a globe, and if we said we want to go from here to Tokyo, for example, think of the world as a globe, if you can see my hands. If you moved in any direction, if anyone moved in any direction, you might have to cover a longer distance, but all of us will wind up in Tokyo. So what I'm saying is, whatever it is for you, keep in mind that it is achievable. Now, the one thing you will want to do on the phase of seeing it when I say see it, I'm talking about exposure. I'm talking about become exposed, burst your limits. Now it won't matter which high school you went to. It won't matter what grades you scored. All of that was supposed to get you to this moment now. Now that you're here, you're starting on a blank slate, just as referred to your registration number. I remember when I was given my registration number when I arrived in campus, it was something, something slash something, something, but the final number was 3375. I have never forgotten. I looked at that number and I said to myself, this number will represent failing or passing. It's me who will determine what this number will represent. You're being given your registration number at the university. At this point, it is blank. Make yourself exposed to the world that is available to you. You guys are going to school at a very, very nice time to be in school because there is the internet available to you. In my day, we did not have that much access to the internet. It was in infancy. There wasn't that much accessible. Become a reader. Become a sponge for information. Read up. Google, visit all sorts of different places as you can. Interact with many people who are where you would like to be. If, for example, you decide that you want to become a financial controller, and I'm just using this as an example because I'm addressing the School of Business. If you decide that you want to become a finance director, find out what a finance director does. If you can find one and access them, if you can find this information online, you want to become as exposed as possible to what it will take for you to attain the goal that you want to achieve. But most importantly, on this area of see it, is be very careful what you see. In as much as I'm saying, open up your mind to see enough, to read a lot, also be very careful what you expose yourself to. Do not focus on things that are going to put you down, because your future, your life, your reality is colored by what you focus on. So if you're going to hang around with losers, if you're going to talk to people who are negative, if you're going to listen to negative information, that will color your future. So be very careful what you're focused on. If you're watching things that are not good on the internet, if you're wasting all of your time on Netflix, that tends to color the way you think. I'll give you an example. Why do you think a lot of young people, actually in my day, it was very fashionable for people to say they are trying to move to the US. Now, the world over, the most popular country for people to go to is the United States. Have you ever asked yourself why? The reason is Hollywood. Because all of us are watching movies that are based in the US. So we tend to have a colored picture of what that country is like. Hollywood is not an accurate representation of the US. People are there who are poorer than us, there's all sorts of people in that country as well as in our country. I'm not saying it's a good country or a bad one. I'm just giving you an example of what focus can do. The number of hours we have spent watching movies and being exposed to the life there has led people the world over to make that the most popular destination. So you want to be careful what you're focused on, because what you're focused on is going to determine how far you will go in the future. All right, now we say the next step would be want it. Allow yourself to want what you want. I like to give the story of a gentleman who has since been deceased, but I knew him growing up. He was a pastor in our village, and that man loved Nairobi. He loved Nairobi. You and I might take Nairobi for granted because we live here, we've been born here, we've lived all our lives here. But that man grew up in the village and he loved Nairobi. He found every excuse to go to Nairobi. He would go to people's places, he would abandon his work and go to Nairobi. He found every excuse, even if that excuse be, I'm going to hospital in Nairobi, I'm not feeling well. And I asked myself, has anyone ever told him that it's okay to move to Nairobi? That's what I mean when I say, allow yourself to want what you want. Think of yourself as deserving. Don't focus on what may be your handicaps. Don't think of yourself, what are the challenges? My school fees is not paid in time. I came from this background. I came from a village school. None of that is important. Think of yourself as deserving. Even if you have never seen anyone in your family attain that goal that you want to attain, even if your goal be something completely far-fetched, like you want to win a Nobel Peace Prize, whatever it is that you want to be the president of this country, whatever it is you want to be the most highly paid financial practitioner in our whole region. All these are things that are attainable, whether you have seen or interacted with somebody. Remember, we said expose yourself in the previous point. So even if the things that you're dreaming have to do with you Googling because you have never realistically seen those things, don't let that put you down. The one thing that cannot be taught is ambition. Ambition is something you have to grow from within. We can talk to you till we are blue in the face, but we can never teach you how to be ambitious. Ambition is something that becomes your drive, and we are going to get to that in the next point. Ambition is something that comes from you. It's something that drives you, because when I'm driven by what I want, when I'm designing my own life, I will not need anybody to tell me to attend my classes on time. I will not need anybody to tell me to write the best term paper, to hand it over on time. I will not need anybody to tell me to participate in extracurricular activities, to take trips, to interact with people who are in the profession I want to go to, because I am driven by my dream. So you want to change your faith. Now, I wrote down change your faith here because I remember at one point I was talking to a cousin of mine, and she was living in the Maldives Islands, and I was very impressed. I had never been to the Maldives. I still haven't been. And I was telling her, wow, that is so, where on the map of the world is the Maldives Islands? At that point, I did not even know. It's this country that is made of 1,000 different islands. It's a famous tourist destination. I was very impressed. And I remember her telling me, Christine, all you have to do is to change your faith. A return ticket to this place is only $500. When I say allow yourself to want what you want, sometimes we disqualify ourselves even before we find out the cost of our dream. If my dream in that day had been to go to the Maldives Islands, I had not even found out how much it would cost to go there. Now, let me give an example that the ladies will find easy to relate with. If today, for example, you wanted a pair of shoes, there's a particular pair of shoes you've been eyeing and you want to buy these shoes. If I asked you where those shoes are found, you would know at the drop of a hat. You tell me it's on this website, or it's in this shop, or it's in this place. You would know where to find those shoes within the next half an hour. That's what we mean when we say allowing yourself to want what you want. Find out the information. Think of yourself as deserving, and you will be surprised that your goal is very attainable. And so our next point is this: ask for it. The one thing that I have learned as I have gone through life, I may not have known this when I was your age and when I was starting campus, but it's an asking world. It's an asking world. There is nothing in the world that is attainable by you on your own. I was just having a conversation yesterday with a friend of mine who's running for parliament, and she was telling me how she has assembled a team that's going to be her campaign strategy team, because you cannot attain anything in the world on your own. The one realization I have come to is this: it's an asking world. When the director was speaking to you, he said over and over, walk into the office of the dean, walk into the office of the registrar, just ask. If you want to take academic leave, just ask. If you want to change your course or your major, just ask. If you want us to move you from Nairobi campus to the town campus, ask. If you want to find out how many courses are available in the Kisumu campus, ask. There's a lot we stop ourselves from because we will not ask. Just ask. The worst that will happen is you will be told no. But ask for those things that you want. I want an opportunity to be an intern in this office. I want an opportunity to learn under you because I would like to pursue a career like the one you're having. I would like to understand the work study program, and is it available to me? I would like to just ask. Learn to ask. There's a famous book, it's a best-selling book around the world that is called it talks about asking. I'm forgetting what the title of the book is. It just says ask. Anything that you want is just available if you ask. Now, once you're asking, you could substitute the word asking for praying. Pray for it. What is it that you would want? Then you want to conduct yourself like the person who would attain that dream. If, for example, my friend who wants to run for parliament is asking us to vote for her to become the next member of parliament or the next governor or whatever position she wants to hold, she has to conduct herself. She has to look the part. She has to sound the part. If your ambition is to become finance director, there's a particular way finance directors look and sound. You have lost the right to look shabby. You have lost the right to use dirty language. You have lost the right to be found drunk, falling all over the road, because the finance director does not conduct themselves like that. So that when you're asking, there is behavior expected of you to fit a particular level, to fit a particular dream, whatever it is that your goal is, whatever it is you're designing your life to be, you want to become the kind of person who is deserving of that goal. There are some distractions that you want to avoid. Remember, I said when I was starting campus, I was told that I will be hit by a freedom I had never had before. My decisions were going to map out my life. And so I had the choice whether or not to build a life that's going to be worthy of me or not. There's a lot of things which I like to call side shows that happen in campus. There's a lot. There's people who make it their business to know where the next rave is happening. There's people who will make it their business to tell you how people who are with it, what it is they're drinking, what they're smoking, what it is they're indulging in. And I can assure you, to somebody your age, those things look very attractive. But I like to call those side shows. Those are things that can distract you. Now, it might look like a very, very, very long time that you're going to be in campus. You might feel like your life is curtailed. I have to go to class here for 4 years. That, I can assure you, 4 years is a very, very short time. I was preparing this note and I thought back and I was like, oh my goodness, I myself was starting campus 30 years ago. It's just passed like this. 4 years is a very, very short time. Allow yourself during these 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever length of your program it is, allow yourself to make your academics the first priority. Think about how many people would have wanted to be in your shoes and they didn't qualify, either by not getting the grades, either by not getting the financing, either by not getting the opportunity that is yours today. Allow yourself to be focused on your academics. Get your academics out of the way, because the one thing you can't do without is good grades. In this society in which we live, you can never make it without good grades. Fortunately for you, you're already in KC University. So make the best of it. Think to yourself, my class is going to have this number of people. Remember what I said about my own grade. I thought to myself, what grade will this number represent? Once I saw my registration number, I asked myself, what will this number represent? Is your number going to represent first class honors? Is your number going to represent a pass? What is your number going to represent? Are you going to be deferred? Are you going to be disqualified? All that will come from decisions that you will make. Make it worthwhile. I like to say this: get in the driver's seat of your life. Be action-oriented. Be the kind of person who allows themselves, himself or herself, to stand alone, because your decisions are going to decide what direction your life takes. So that's what I say when I'm talking about ask for it. And then finally, get it. Be action-oriented. Be action-oriented. Sometimes as adults, we are getting ready to get ready. I was surprised when you were told that if you want help loan, make sure you make an application this month. Really? If you want that loan, make that application today. Make that application today. Don't wait for tomorrow to do something which you could have done today. Get it out of the way. Be action-oriented. The biggest difference between people who make it in life and people who don't is their action orientation. Try, ask, do. The things that will make your life better, the things that will make you the person that you would like to be, are not things that you will read. They are not things that you will hear. They are things that you will do. So if you see a job somewhere that you want, make an application. Even if you only qualify 7%, 70%, make an application. That's a doing thing. And then become a volunteer. Become a volunteer. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of doors that will open for you if you will learn to volunteer. There's a lot of things, and I'm going to be talking about a book just in the next few minutes. For me, a lot of opportunities have opened up because I have volunteered to do things. There's a lot of things. As we become adults, we tend to become very money oriented, so that you're like, let me give you a story. I think the best way to illustrate this is with a story. A few years ago, I ran a magazine. I ran a property magazine, and the gentleman who did our graphics was a very, very talented artist. He was a young man, he was possibly just about your age, he just come out of college. And so he told me one day in a conversation that his actual passion was not so much in graphics, but it was in cartooning. He used to draw lovely, lovely cartoons. And I told him, all right, let's do this. Draw a cartoon, and every month, draw one cartoon, we'll put it in the magazine, make it relevant to our theme of that magazine. I'm going to carry it for free. I'm going to put your contact details and everything. The young man refused to do that. He said, unless you pay me extra, I will not draw the cartoon. Now, I was a bit confused. Did you not tell me cartoons are your passion? Did you not tell me this is something you love to do? I'm carrying it in a publication, and you're already salaried to do the graphics. He said, no. That was his loss, because that magazine has not been in circulation for almost 10 years, but I still get people calling me saying, because my number was in it, I was the managing editor, and my contact details were in that magazine. I still get people calling me and asking me, hey, about this magazine, this, that. In other words, his contact would still have been in those magazines. It would still have been marketing him all these years later. There's a lot of opportunities that will open up to you if you will just volunteer. If you're ever in a meeting, I usually say this to people, and maybe you can use this as a gauge. You just came out of your high school. Does your former school principal know your name? Even if your school had 1,000 students, 2,000 students, how many students were in your school, the school that you just left, and did the principal know you? Be the kind of person who is known. You cannot go through KCA University and the vice chancellor doesn't know you, the registrar doesn't know you, the dean of your faculty does not know you. There's something you're doing wrong. You can't go. If I attended the same class, if it was the accounting class, and if there were 100 people in the class, if I go through that class for 3 months, if I never once raise my hand to say anything, if I never ask a question, if I never volunteer to be in a group, to lead a class discussion, that means the lecturer doesn't know me. That means I'm fading in the crowd. Allow yourself to stand out. Volunteer to do things without looking for the benefit to yourself, because those are the things that will open up opportunities for you in the future. And like I said, you're going to have more free time now, believe it or not, than when you have families and responsibilities and jobs and all of that in the future. So get involved in as many extracurricular activities as you can while you're in campus. In fact, I love that you were told by your director that if these activities you were doing before, which are not currently at KCA, bring them up and let them be introduced. That's a beautiful thing to do, because if you do that, you will have left your mark at the university. So that's a good thing to do. You want to make sure that even by the time you come out, I know a young man, a son of my friend, who just won a scholarship to go through campus, and I don't want to go into a lot of those details, but what won him the scholarship was not his academic grades. By the time he finished his fourth form, he already had the full scholarship. What won him the scholarship was all the other activities that he did aside from the school. The things that you do, the clubs that you volunteer in, those are the things that are going to make you stand out. Those are the things that are going to color your CV. So your CV starts being colored now. Your CV starts standing out now. The things that are going into your resume: I was the chairman of this, I was the class representative for this, I was the head of this. Those are the things that will show us what kind of a person are you. And that comes from things that you volunteer to do, not necessarily those things that you are obligated to do. So you passing your grades and you getting a good grade when you're finishing campus, that's the basics. That's what we expect of you being in campus. But the extra are all those things that you volunteered to do, all the clubs that you joined, all the groups that you led. Those are the things that show us what kind of a person you are. And it gives you the exposure to leadership. So in a nutshell, this is what I'm saying. Make a plan for your life. Make a plan for your life. Allow yourself to dream a big dream. You needn't have ever seen it before. I want you to dream a big dream. I want you to make a life that is a movie completely. write it down, take some time this evening and write down, who would I like to become? I liked a school that I sent my daughter at one point. And when she entered the school, they told her, please write us an essay about who you would like to become. So as you go through this school, we know what we are preparing you to become. I think that's a beautiful thing to do. Spend some time this evening and write down, my name is so-and-so. On this day, I have started the XYZ program at the KCA University. I am planning to become this. Write it down. There's a very, very, very powerful thing about writing down your dream. It becomes visible. You perceive it by more than one sense, because now you're hearing yourself saying it, you're seeing yourself, you're seeing it on your screen or on a piece of paper. Put that away, because dreams that are written down have a very, very funny way of coming true. So write it down, avoid all the sideshows, and take all the necessary action, and you will be well on your way. Now, before I close, I would like to introduce you to my book, Play to Win. I have a copy of it here. You can see me. That's a copy of my book, Play to Win, that I have put the screenshot here on the screen. I'm giving you a free download of the ebook of this book. If you can just download it from the link that is there, I will share it with Linda as well. I will share that link with Linda, but it's basically just my company, softskills.co.k. If you go to our website, you will find this book. There's a tab there that says Play to Win. You can download this book for free, and then you can read the content of the book is how to discover your unique ability, how to find and profit from your unfair advantage. It teaches you how to identify what is your talent, what is your gift, what is it that you do better than anyone else in the world, and then what are the steps that you can take. You are at a very good place in your life. So if you're starting your life now, and if you're able to play to win, in other words, you're identifying the areas that are your unique ability, and you're taking deliberate action to make sure that you make the most of that life. That book gives you a step-by-step guide on how you're able to attain that. And that's a free download as my gift to you for listening to me.